Good afternoon and good morning, everyone, to our NACCE friends and members. Thank you for joining us today on our August webinar, learning more about the NACCE 2020 Conference and Hybrid Leadership Summit. My name is Anelisa Lauri. I will be moderating today's webinar. Brief introduction about myself. I am the manager for the Verizon Innovative Learning Program and member support. I recently joined NACCE after spending the past 8 years in New York City in entrepreneurship education at the City University of New York, managing a university-wide incubator program, running pitch competitions, and teaching. I'm also a big fan of chocolate, just a little fun fact, as Becky suggested I mention today. So all you chocolate lovers out there, I hear you and support you. Speaking of support, I do have my colleague here, Nataliia Berezhna, who will introduce herself as well.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Nataliia Berezhna. As you can tell by my last name, originally I'm from Ukraine. I've been almost 1 year with NACCE, and this has been an incredible experience. Prior to joining NACCE, I worked for the U.S. Embassy in Kiev for the U.S. Agency for International Development, and we made North Carolina our home last year, and we are very excited about this. Welcome to the webinar. If you have any questions, any issues or concerns, please text me privately in the chat or into my mail, and I will provide my comment and my contact information right in the chat box. Thank you. Enjoy the webinar.
Thank you, Nataliia. So a little housekeeping before we get started. We are recording this webinar. You will receive the slides approximately 24 hours from now. And please, any questions you have, please submit them in the Q&A feature on our Zoom dashboard, and we will definitely have time to get to them at the end. So here is our agenda for today. It is jam-packed, so bear with us. We have a lot to go through, lot to talk about. We're going to be talking about our professional development series that we have planned, our leadership summit and panel discussion, our GoodNewsTues events as well, and of course our annual virtual conference as well. Now I would like to introduce our wonderful leader, Dr. Becky Corbin, to welcome all of you and to talk about some welcoming remarks.
Okay, well, thank you, Anelisa and Nataliia. I'm probably the luckiest person here because I get to work with people who just have such interesting backgrounds. Likewise, we're joined today with a number of NACCE board members. Our treasurer, Dr. Whaley, is in his car. That's how dedicated he is. So you can see he's tuning in there. And we have a couple of other wonderful Tennessee presidents that you'll hear from. But I just really want to thank the entire NACCE board, which represents presidents across the United States, who've really come together and meaningfully worked hand in hand with the staff and the host committee to really reimagine the NACCE conference this year. So we have on the call today people tuning in from the United States, from the East Coast, the West Coast, all the flyover states, and even people from Canada. So we're very excited. We also wanted to express our support and our heartfelt concern for our members and friends that are experiencing fires and hurricanes. We know that there's a myriad of challenges, so please know that we have you in our thoughts and wish you the very best. As I've asked the other NACCE board members to do, I wanted to share a little bit about my background, and I'm coming from the NACCE headquarters, so we have safely opened. So I have my NACCE mask, so when we are in the halls or doing anything, we socially distance and we wash our hands regularly. And I want to thank our friends at Wake Tech for welcoming us in this area. But prior to coming to North Carolina, my family and I just moved from Mulligan Hill, New Jersey, which is outside of Philadelphia. So for the past 6 years, I've had the privilege of working for NACCE, but prior to that, I spent 6 years working for a community college in New Jersey. So I share that with you because I took on a variety of roles. I was the executive director of the foundation. I was an interim dean for a while. I headed up workforce development, and I really fell in love with community college systems. And it wasn't until the latter years of getting in my working on my doctorate when I was in my 40s, by the way, so it's never too late if you want to do that, where I really started to embrace an entrepreneurial mindset, and I'm grateful for that. The other thing I wanted to share with all of you is I started my journey in community college back in 2009 during the economic downturn. So I know with all of us and our extended families, I was so excited about my new job at the college, and 2 weeks later, my husband was laid off. So I've shared that with a lot of you that I've talked to over time, and certainly he found another job and we were fine. But I just want you to know, as a NACCE family and a community of board members and staff, we know that this is a rough time for everyone. So we just try to lead by example. But I truly believe through all of those experiences that entrepreneurial mindset is the way forward. And through this move and the craziness that's gone on, when I start to lean away from that is when I start to feel anxious and not my best self. So in any event, as Anelisa said, and I'm going to ask that she go to the next slide, we are really excited today because we were a bit befuddled by all of the challenges, and we really approached this with a design thinking mindset of we had certain limitations in terms of what we could do. And I'm going to share with you a little bit more in depth what our journey was, just to give you lots of information and lots of options so you can make the best decision in terms of what is right for you. So what we started out with, so our veteran NACCE members will know this, for many years. My first NACCE conference was in 2014, and then I've of course been to one ever since then, and I was a community college person at that time. I wasn't a NACCE leader. But what we've decided is really to lean into the challenge, and instead of just hosting a 4-day immersive in-person event, we've come up with an entire professional development series. So you can see on the far left our logo for NACCE 2020, the Leadership Summit. So we have basically flipped our guitar on the side because that's, I guess, the theme for this year. And we are very excited to be collaborating with Dr. Rufus Glasper and the League for Innovation, who's going to share some thought leadership with us. We have wonderful keynote speakers. Our host committee, you'll hear from the 3 presidents later, are going to have a socially distant, safe, immersive experience. So those who feel comfortable traveling and want to take that option, we do have a limited number of seats. We also have virtual participation. So that is going to kick off the first 3 of an 8-day series of events. So we're going to conclude that first event, and then we are going to do something really fun, which we are calling hashtag GoodNewsTues events. So the middle logo that you see, which is the Everyday Entrepreneur Venture Fund event, this is going to kick off in the afternoon, and it's going to be followed by a $150,000 pitch prize, which I hope that each and every one of you on the line today and those who are listening to the recording will register for. This middle event is 100% free. It is, people have to register for it, but you can participate in this. And if you want to participate in the Radcliffe pitch competition, you do have to register for the virtual conference, but you can participate and watch it. And you can also learn more about Everyday Entrepreneur Venture Fund. That is something that the NACCE board and myself and the staff are so proud of. We set a summer fundraising goal internally to raise about $300,000 for the venture fund. We are well over $1.2 million, and we have more larger commitments that we're working on. So our goal is to really onboard more colleges into that program. And then the third piece is the NACCE 2020 virtual conference, which is our big conference. It's presented by the Verizon Foundation. We will be hearing later on in the call from Katie Calabrese, who does a wonderful job along with Anelisa and Jeff Smith and many people heading that up. So that's really where you're going to have the most, the robust content. You're also going to have the opportunity, we are going to be filming the keynotes and the discussions from the Leadership Summit. So some of those will be threaded in, so you'll have the opportunity to see what went on in another event. So Anelisa, if you go to the next slide, this is the part where I just wanted to go through, and Dr. Whaley was so kind, and also Dr. Wise and Dr. Cheney as well, helping us kind of explore how we might do a leadership summit in a hybrid fashion. So Amy Bovier, who many of you know, and I went to Nashville. We took all safety precautions. Many people have asked me, did you feel safe? I absolutely did. I'm not one to take a lot of risks, but meeting with the Lowe's Hotel general manager, with some officials in the area, we discussed how might we host somewhat of a smaller, in-person component that would be augmented by a virtual component. So the site visit was really a collection of information. So Anelisa, if you go to the next slide, you can see here how, we have sort of these distinct events. But if you move a little bit forward, so let's go to the next slide, we kind of wrestled with, why host an in-person event? And, some of the things that we really needed to be mindful of were the safety protocols. Socially distanced conferencing would be in place. We are working with a local university, one of our HBCUs, that's going to be providing just on-site information and testing. So we're going even beyond what the state of Tennessee requires. Many of you have expressed a desire to participate in something that is safe and socially distanced. So in combination with talking with our host committee and also getting input from the NACCE board, we felt that we could definitely do this. The other thing is that the Lowe's Hotel confirmed to us if situations would change and for some reason, if things changed so that we weren't able to do this, there would be no financial risk to anyone who was registering and not to NACCE either. So there was really that compelling reason to try to do this. Additionally, what we found out on our site visit was really economic assistance to Nashville. We didn't realize how much of the educational system was funded by tourism. It's been decimated. So we felt that it was an opportunity to safely, sort of inject a little bit of funding into a community that needs it, that benefits education. So in long story short, our opportunity for NACCE to be entrepreneurial and to lead the way, and because we weren't taking on any financial risk, we wouldn't feel like we were pushing the envelope if for some reason the world changed and it was not safe, that we could easily pivot again and change our plans. So going to the next slide, this is a slide of us in the Lowe's Hotel. So you can see all the safety is in place. You can see the furniture in the back has been moved away. Everything is cleaned regularly. There's a number of very small rooms. So we spent quite a bit of time. The man on the left is David Bruce, who is our conference planner that we work with. He drove 11 hours to meet us out there, so that was wonderful. And you can see that they have plexiglass on everything. Everything is cleaned. So we went soup to nuts through everything. So I didn't feel comfortable even making a recommendation to the board unless we had board involvement and the experience, but also understanding. So this slide just shows you some of the food preparation and meeting preparation. And what I learned on the site visit, the Tisch family that owns the Lowe's Hotel also owns some other properties. And what they see is that because theirs is more of a signature property, they do more small plates. They don't really provide food and so forth in a buffet style as other hotels do. So they had special plexiglass that was built. You could see in the breakout rooms, everything is socially distanced. There are no longer any tablecloths. They clean everything regularly. So that just gives you a couple of pictures of the experience that we went through. And so backing up for a moment, just thinking about this sort of this series of events, if you will, that cover 8 days. And, our hope is that people on the line here and our memberships by and large will figure out which of these events are of greatest interest to them. You could register for all of them. You could register for some of them. It's whatever you feel comfortable with. But this is a really fun slide, and I'm not going to steal Dr. Y's thunder, so I'm going to let him talk about the gentleman to the right because he's somebody that we're very excited about. But you can see Tiffany Eubanks Saunders is the executive on the left, and any of you who know about Bank of America and the commitment of $1 billion that they put out there into the community, that they really want to address the equity, inclusion, and diversity issue and other things. We're just very touched by their mission. her particular story is all about resiliency. She's encountered some health issues, and so the opening theme for the Leadership Summit is really about taking care of yourself as a leader. So if you're a leader in the classroom as a faculty, or you're a leader of a college, as our presidents that you'll hear from are shortly, we really need to figure out better ways to take care of ourselves, our boards, our students, and our communities. So it's broadly that kind of a theme, and then drilling down into some really practical, tactical conversations and tools and resources. So I really explained, I think, the number of different workshops that we're going to have. The agenda will be posted over the next week or so. So many of you who have submitted breakout presentations, some of you have agreed to do keynotes. What we are going to be doing is refashioning these into specific workshops that are going to be held. How this is going to work, this is part of our pivoting and our innovation, is that the Lowe's Hotel is giving us the entire space for the hotel, which would normally house hundreds and hundreds of people. We're only going to have about 75 people there. So we will have very large rooms in which we are going to set up screens and cameras, and we will have 15 to 20 people in each room that will sort of be a cohort. So you can think about it in terms of those of you on a college classroom of a class. So we have a few NACCE leaders, myself included, and Ann Strickland, and a few others that are really going to take the responsibility for being the leader there. So we're going to do some really interesting things. And as we move to that and we go to the third day of the summit, which will wrap up in the morning, we have a well-known author and person who's done work with companies like Amazon and Chrysler and Unilever and so forth, Brian Matamore, that you see there, where we're going to invite you. We're going to send you his book in advance. It's very easy to read and very practical. And for those attending the Leadership Summit, we want you to come to the summit with a problem that you want to tackle and some things that you want to do. So going through this process of ideation, you'll have the infusion of innovation that we will learn from the League for Innovation, Dr. Glasper. We will also have our entrepreneurship, which you're going to hear a lot about that. And then we're going to close with something that you can take with you. So we're encouraging people as well, if they want to come as a team of 1 or 2 or 3 people, and there's other opportunities. Joy Prophet Collins, that you can see to the right, is our colleague and friend that we've gotten to know through our work on the Everyday Entrepreneur Venture Fund. She, along with some leaders from the Lumina Foundation, have set up a new kind capital firm. So Joy is working with us strategically on a number of different issues. She's just beautiful inside and out. Some of her experiences have been working with the major television networks, working as a chief operating officer for a major women's magazine. So we're very excited about that. So as we go to the next slide, I'm really excited to turn it over at this point to Dr. Chris Whaley, who is our treasurer of our board and is just a wonderful leader. So I'm going to put myself on mute and turn it over to Dr. Whaley, who's going to give us some opening comments, followed by our other 2 presidents.
Thank you so much, Becky. I hope everyone can hear me. Sorry that I'm in my car, but as president of Roane State Community College here in East Tennessee, one of the distinguishing things about our college is that we have 9 campuses. And as we've just started, I've been trying to make my way around safely to the campuses to say hello to everyone. Very few students on some of the campuses, but the staff, obviously, who have worked so hard in getting our reopening up and going for the fall semester, trying to touch base with them in person and express my gratitude. And speaking of gratitude, I'd like to thank Becky, all the members of the NACCE board, all the wonderful staff for their really, really hard, and not only hard work, but innovative work in putting on what I think is going to be a model again for other organizations to follow as we are in obviously a changing environment across the country. And I'm so excited about the opportunity for those who want to be in person to gather for the leadership conference, and then also obviously for the annual meeting, which is always absolutely one of the best events that I ever get to attend. And again, I won't steal Dr. Wise's thunder either about the award that we're pleased to present, but I do want to thank Presidents Cheney and Wise, also part obviously of the Tennessee Board of Regents system. I feel so blessed to work with both of them, and I'm just really excited about again, the innovation coming out of this. It is something I don't think you'll want to miss. So Becky, thank you, and grateful also. I want to mention again the wonderful folks at the Lowe's Hotel who have bent over backwards, does not in any strong enough way describe how they have worked with us. So thank you all very much for your time today.
Thanks, Chris. It's been a pleasure for me to be a member of the NACCE team and a member of that organization for a number of years. Actually, I started there many years ago in my career in higher education at a community college in Kentucky. And we too were part of the Verizon Innovative Learning Program. So thank you very much for that and bringing that opportunity to young girls across Appalachia and throughout the country. Some of the things that I will honestly tell you is such a blessing to be part of NACCE and the things that we do with a grassroots approach to entrepreneurship and how it can be a game changer for many people. And at my college years ago, we developed a coloring book that was supported by NACCE, and the Appalachian Regional Commission were involved in lots of things, but we were targeting entrepreneurship all the way down to kindergarten through 4th grade and talking about making the pages all about technical education and how you can build an entrepreneurial spirit and continue doing lots of things with entrepreneurship. So that all came as part of results and relationships from NACCE and their network. But I will tell you, as I move forward to today, where I am today in the role at Tennessee College of Applied Technology, I'm very proud to be their president, but I can tell you it is part of the NACCE network that made me who I am as a leader. And I don't mind to share that with anyone who wants to hear my story. But because of NACCE, we were able to do things at my previous college, like create an incubator for aerospace technology, parts and equipment in a very depressed area of Appalachia where the coal industry had completely declined. So without the help of NACCE, and frankly, some of the NACCE members, some of them are my colleagues now here in Tennessee, Roane State was very critical in helping me develop that incubator. But here in Tennessee, there's so many cool things that we can do to introduce NACCE to the technical colleges here. There's so much opportunity, and we want to be that springboard with this conference as we reimagine what it looks like to go to a conference. So Anthony, I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you, Kelly. It's great to be with everybody today, and it's certainly great to work in East Tennessee when I've got colleagues like President Cheney and President Whaley as next door neighbors. Feel really fortunate that we have an opportunity not only to work in the same system, the Tennessee Board of Regents, but that we have an opportunity to work through an organization like NACCE. I know Kelly's only been here a short time, but you can already see how she brings that entrepreneurial spirit to her work in our community, and it's great to hear about that and see what all the great things that she's doing. And of course, Chris has been a friend and colleague for a number of years through the TBR system, and the work he and his team at Roane State do is great as well. Pellissippi State's been a member of NACCE for a number of years. We were fortunate to host an entrepreneurship conference a few years ago. In fact, I got a chance to reminisce a little bit with, I think the keynote speaker for that was Randy Boyd, and we had a chance to catch up and talk about that experience a little bit. It was supported by the ARC, and that was a great opportunity. I know last year our students certainly enjoyed the opportunity to participate in the Student Entrepreneurship Challenge. We had a team that went out to California and another team that participated in the virtual challenge, and both of them did very well, and we're extremely proud of them. The big announcement that both Chris and Becky were pointing to was that one of the things that we're going to do at the conference is to honor former Tennessee Governor Bill Haslam with a Lifetime Achievement Award. He served as governor of the state of Tennessee from 2011 to 2019, served as city mayor of Knoxville before that, and then his previous career was working with his family's business, which was very entrepreneurial. I think I can speak for Chris and Kelly and all of those of us in Tennessee. He had a number of signature achievements. Probably the most recognized has to do with Tennessee Promise, a last dollar scholarship that he took from a local community program to a statewide initiative. But I think we'll have a chance to share some of his thoughts on leadership and the role entrepreneurship played not only in the growth of his family's business, but the way he governed the state of Tennessee. It was certainly a pleasure to get a chance to know him just a little bit, but to see the way that he worked as a leader. And I think he's a great person for us to recognize with that Lifetime Achievement Award when we get together in October. I think it's going to be a great week of events, an expanded series. I hope everybody will participate. I think we've taken the great safety precautions for those that want to and feel comfortable coming into Nashville, but I think it's going to be a week long of wonderful activities. And, you know, given the great work that Becky and NACCE have done and the track record they have, we should not be surprised. So Becky, I'm going to turn it back to you. And I know that we look forward to welcoming folks to Tennessee and what's just going to be a great event.
That's great. Thank you to our trio of leaders here. It's just been a pleasure to work with all of you. And I just can't thank you enough for all the time and just really the thoughtfulness that you put into it. So I'm going to turn it back to Anelisa, who's going to walk us through more of the details on what we're doing. We are purposely trying to reinforce this, as you all do when you teach your classes, because it is a new format. So Anelisa, back to you.
Thank you so much, Becky. Thank you all to the presidents as well. It's really grateful. We're really grateful to have you all spearheading our conference planning. Our next topic is about our 2 GoodNewsTues at NACCE events. These are also open to the public, so we encourage you to join us virtually and tell your community about them as well. There are great opportunities for your colleges to participate in. They are tied to funding and prize money, so I would think that's a good incentive as well to participate. So the first one is the EEVF for Everyone event, as Becky talked about earlier about our Everyday Entrepreneur Venture Fund, supporting community college entrepreneurs through our participating member colleges. We are getting ready to launch phase 3, so please join us for this event at 3 p.m. Eastern on Tuesday, October 13th to learn more on how you and your college can join us and participate and apply. Next is our pitch for the trades. You should have seen in our e-news, we've also did a press release about our continued partnership and expanded partnership with the Ratcliffe Foundation. This year we are welcoming our participants to win up to $50,000 in prize money. The applications are coming up September 11th, so if you are interested in participating, definitely sign up and learn more at the nacce.com/2020 pitch. The final pitch will happen on that same Tuesday, October 13th at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so you can see everybody doing their last pitch to compete for the prize money here. Now I'm going to play a little video from the CEO of the Ratcliffe Foundation, Carleen Cassidy.
Are you ready for it? Each of your colleges will have the opportunity to compete for, yes, there you see it, $125,000 in funding, along with some really amazing perks provided by NACCE. So I say, put on your creative thinking caps, grab your power tools, get out your design thinking kits, collaborate with all of your colleagues and students and other stakeholders, and put together some really innovative proposals, and we'll look forward to seeing your submissions in the fall.
So as you heard, September 11th is the deadline for that. So definitely consider participating, or if you know a colleague who might be interested as well. It's a great opportunity for our NACCE members. Our NACCE conference going virtual here, and to give us some remarks about our lead sponsor, the Verizon Foundation. I'm going to play a video from my colleague, Katie Calabrese.
Hello, all NACCE conference attendees and Verizon Innovative Learning Directors. My name is Katie Calabrese, and I'm the Director of Memberships and Projects here at NACCE. I'm also the project lead for the Verizon Innovative Learning Program. The Verizon Foundation is really setting their stake in the ground to help close the digital divide through K-12 educational programming. And NACCE is really helping to facilitate those efforts through education, STEM initiatives, as well as career development and entrepreneurship efforts. Verizon is really having a strong hold in the community during these uncertain times and future to come to make sure that we're offering really robust programs for both middle school and high school students. Verizon is also very committed to partnering with NACCE in a number of different ways, and this being one of them at the NACCE National Conference. Verizon being our top sponsor is also really in support of all of the professional development that we incorporate within this conference. And this goes to all of the Verizon Innovative Learning Directors. I'm charging you with participating and coming to the NACCE National Conference for a full professional development experience. We will be networking, we will be debriefing from what has happened this past year, as well as some future thought leaders and feedback from you. So I really invite all of you in the Verizon Innovative Learning Program to participate, mark your schedules, save the date, and be part of our conference. NACCE is really partnering with Verizon in lots of different ways that we are gonna keep secret and show to you throughout the conference. Registration opens today at 1 o'clock. Be on the lookout, all you Verizon members, for my email with your special Verizon code for registration, but do not forget to register. And I thank you all, to the Verizon, as well as all of you NACCE attendees. I look forward to seeing all of you virtually in October. Thank you.
So now we will reiterate about our conference going virtual. As you heard, it's a 100% virtual experience, so you can learn, network, and participate all from your office or from home, whatever's most convenient for you. We have very simple rates here for members and non-members. And a new initiative that we have is institutional registration for NACCE member colleges. So bring the whole band, as they say. If you have 5 attendees or up to 10 attendees, if you plan on having a group effort, socially distanced, of course, for your team to participate, we have these group rates that are now available. Registration will be available up until October 9th at 5 p.m. There are scholarships available, so we do encourage you to apply online, regardless of if you're having some financial challenges. We want to have as many people join and participate as possible. This is a very robust and really rigorous professional development and a lot of great sessions that we encourage everybody to participate, and it's going to be a really dynamic platform that we're excited to launch for this conference. Also, we have a very exciting lineup of speakers, as Becky mentioned earlier, including Dan Bavaro, Dr. Destry Dokes, Joe Collins-Profit from Kind Capital, and Ray Ybarra from the Shark Tank Effect, and many, many more. So we're really excited for all of that. And I think now we're going to go to Q&A, and we're going to see if any questions have come in. And I'm going to take a look here and see if anything's come through. Our VP, Ann Strickland, is available to provide some closing remarks.
Hey everybody, I'm Ann Strickland and I'm really excited to be helping plan this conference. We did have one question that I saw come through in chat. Tracy wanted to know if our students could watch the Pitch for the Trades competition. The answer is yes, and we encourage you to share that with them. It is a free ticket on our conference registration page that will open today at 1. It also looks like the conference running this full schedule each day online. Yes, our conference, it will be 100% virtual, and the sessions that you attend, some of them will be concurrent, will be available on demand following. So you'll have access to actually more content than you would normally if we were in person, because the sessions that you would miss that were running concurrent will be able to be viewed for a few weeks after. Another question, is there an opportunity to submit additional virtual presentations? Yes, we're open to your ideas. So we are mostly slated with breakout sessions, but if you have something that you'd like to present, you may send it to me at strickland@nacce.com and we'll see if we can work you in. We can
Great.
answer any additional questions for anybody. The entire team is available to you. I look forward to spending a week with everybody, both in Nashville and online. I'm really excited about our EEVF event. Remember that that one is free, so we encourage you to come and learn more about what we're doing and how you can get involved.
Great. Thank you so much, Anne. Becky?
Yeah, so I wanted to just thank everyone who's here and just let you know that the website, NACCE website, is going to be live beginning at 1 o'clock, right after the webinar. It looks like we covered everything very quickly, which is always nice to give people a few minutes back. But again, if you have any questions at all about the conference or any concerns, you can certainly reach out to us, to call the office. We're happy to talk to you. And I just wanted to reemphasize Anelisa's point about scholarships, because on the Verizon Innovative Learning end, we are so grateful to them for being our presenting sponsor of the virtual conference. So any of the VIL schools or any support tied to Verizon is linked to the virtual event only. However, if you're a person that wants to attend the in-person Nashville event, we have other scholarship funds to help support that. So as Anelisa said, if you're having challenges and barriers, one of the things that NACCE was so pleased about is to have so much success with publishing our books. So we do have a fund set aside from the royalties to support people. So don't let that stand in your way, but be safe and just problem solve with us. As Anne said, we are going to be working with the NACCE board, with the presenters and the keynotes, just on the adjustment of time. In many cases, it's going to involve some pre-recorded presentations that we're going to do some panel discussions and activities around. So Anne and her team have spent a lot of time looking at best practices from conferencing across the nation. So we are so excited, as Dr. Whaley said, to really be a leader in this field and show them what the NACCE network can do. So if there are things you think about after the webinar, please feel free to reach out. We'd be happy to speak with you.
Thank you so much, Becky. I know we covered a lot of ground today. We will provide all the links and everything. I know there was a lot of content to cover. That's why we also are recording this. We realize it is a lot, but it's exciting. There's a lot of great opportunities, and we hope you all take advantage on what's comfortable for you. And please don't hesitate to take the survey at the end when we end this call today, the webinar. Your feedback is very important to us. So thank you all again. Have a great day. This webinar is now complete.